Good morning, Kingdom Reality. It's a beautiful day. I decided to do my devotional outside just because it's just so nice. There's no cloud in the sky, and it's perfect weather, and it's not too cold, it's not too hot, there's a little breeze coming in. I want to encourage you this morning with my devotional using our 3 points from the sermon, which is patience, process, and purpose. So today I've chosen to do my devotion on the life of Paul. It's amazing. He's just, his life has kind of spoken volumes, and how God can use people like him and people, ordinary people, and people like us that are sinners. So first point, the patience. God has seen all the acts and the intentions that Saul had, and in the murdering of the Christians and just killing everyone that standed for Jesus and what he taught. His patience on Paul makes me think about Ananias and his wife. They lied to the Holy Spirit, and as soon as they came, they were confronted. They, one by one, had fallen dead after lying to the Holy Spirit, which is kind of like, you commit a crime and then almost like a few hours later, you drop dead, and that's the end of that. With Paul, he had been murdering Christians, and God had not removed him from the earth. His patience with him is different from the patience that he had with Ananias and his wife. So Paul is going around and killing all the Christians, filled with the Spirit, filled with the Holy Spirit, and he's still alive. The patience of God kind of like is it's different, with him. Now as the story goes forward, in the process that we go through is he was present. Paul is present at the stoning of Stephen, which Stephen was filled with the Holy Spirit. And it says that in Acts 7:58, the accusers took off their coats and laid them at Saul's feet. To me, this makes it clear that Saul was the lead accuser, and he was kind of probably in charge of what was going on in the execution of Stephen. So this leads Saul to try and go to Damascus to kill all the followers of the way, which are the Christians in that time, and to kill those that believe in the message of Jesus. We all know what happens on the way. He is converted. Jesus confronts him, and Jesus asks him, like, why are you persecuting me, the church, my body? So he is converted, and after that we see Paul's life just dramatically change. The very thing he was going to kill, it becomes his life. His life is about the Holy Spirit. His life is about spreading the gospel. He is a part of the Way movement. He's a Christian now, and he's doing everything that Jesus had taught. The very thing that he was killing people for is now what he's living for, which is kind of crazy. So the purpose of all of this is, we see from the scriptures, we see the purpose of this is God uses people that we are least likely expect that he's going to use. He uses Jonah the prophet, so a disobedient prophet that runs away from God. He uses people like Jonah. He uses fishermen that are very uneducated to begin the first church ever that reaches the masses. So what's the purpose in Paul? A man that was once killing the Christians now becomes a Christian, and he goes out and he plants churches everywhere. I think the purpose of why God used him and why God took him through all this, the process of it, and why God was patient, was because Paul was the doorway to the Gentiles. Paul was a Roman citizen and he was also a Jew, meaning that he could go and he could reach places where Jews would be discriminated, and he would go to places where Gentiles were looked and frowned upon. So he reaches such a vast majority of people that the disciples, which were all Jews, could not be able to reach. Paul plants churches in all of the Gentile areas where it's so difficult for a Jew to do. So Paul, the life of Paul and the purpose of Paul was to reach where Jews were unable to reach, and God uses him in this way. A lot of churches kind of were branched out from these places, these Greek places, and these places where were outside of Jerusalem, the first church. So visualizing all those patience, process, and purpose, we see the reason why God was patient with him and why God took him through this process and the purpose of all of this. Be blessed and be encouraged that your life is going through 3 of these things, and we need to be patient with what God is doing in the process, and that there's a purpose in all of what's going on, and it's for His glory, and it's for His will, and it's for your good. So be encouraged, people of God, this morning. I love you, and I hope this blesses you. And he had man. It's gonna be there for a moment. Might as well just